Before we get into today's video, I got to talk about the biggest sponsor of the channel and the best way to support this channel, and that is thirdpinthreads.com. We just released a bunch of t-shirts, hoodies, beanies, hats for winter this year. Super excited about it, and we have a big collab going on with Davidoff right now where we are giving away $700 worth of Davidoff swag. Some of the finest quality leather ever used on a gun range. I promise you that. Every dollar that you spend at Third Pin for the entire month of December gets you one entry. $1, one entry. So buy anything you want to pump up your odds to win. And that's the best way to support us. We don't do Patreon. We don't do razors for your ball sacks. This is the best way, and you get something for your cash, and we greatly appreciate it. Now, back to the video.
I don't do Patreon. I don't fucking do ball shavers. I don't do Raid Shadow Legend. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I said it. This is what B-roll is. It's just me and a camera. And do I just film random people? So you see, he's wanted for war crimes in Chechnya. So we can't put him on camera, but we try to anyway because I think it's hilarious.
He got one FTN? That's fast as fuck.
Okay, so, clarification. Sir, do you know why I pulled you over today?
She told me I was RO.
Littering.
Littering?
And
Littering,
smoking the reefer.
I'm going to steal your ID. Not occurred to me that...
Ooh, what's going on, everybody? Finally, after a long time, we have another Zastava M90 update. We've had several in the past. The videos are always pretty popular. You guys seem to be pretty interested in not only Serbian AKs, but specifically these M90s, because a lot of people are getting into 5.56 with ammo becoming difficult to find for 7.62 and 5.45. And yes, I know even 223 is getting expensive, but this is still a great option. And a lot of people ask me all the time about M90s, specifically mine. How's it been running? You know, what's the dealio with it and where's it been? Well, it's had quite a bit of work done to it. We actually just picked this thing up from John at M13 Industries in Las Vegas. If you want to see that video, I'll link it down below, where we interview John and actually picked this thing up right after he was done doing all the custom work to it. And we do a few shots at the very end of the video. And at this point, I've actually shot a couple of competitions with it and did pretty well. And I'm super happy with it so far. So today, just want to talk about what exactly was done in detail. We'll do a little bit of blasting with it, and we're kind of getting prepped for one of the bigger competitions that I shoot every year at this range, the Ranch Texas Club, home of Kalash Bash and Lethal Weapons, the Sons of Liberty Carbine Championship. If you would like to come experience this amazing range for yourself, check out Kalash Bash, Texas, next year, 2024, April 13th and 14th. This is a 2 to 3 day event, AKs only. Tickets are available in the link down below. Competition, general admission, camping, helicopters, shoot houses, you name it. There are tons of ways to come out and have a good time. Over $100,000 in prizes this year. Over 1,000 of you are projected to come out and hang out with us this year. Don't forget, we have a full-on live concert that is included with your ticket Saturday night at Kalash Bash after dark, right next to the campsite. We'll see you soon. It's one of the more difficult matches by far. It's 12 stages, 2 days, everything from 600 yards, very difficult targets. And the ROs do not call your shots, so you have to know your dope. To up close and personal, running and gunning. There's even some reload challenges. It's extremely difficult. And more to come on that, because I want to kind of game that match a little bit. So we'll talk about that when you see that match video come out. But this is one of the guns I want to shoot in that match, my M90. This M90 I ran at Suns a couple years ago, and man, I just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with it. I had some feeding issues. I think the feeding issues were induced by high capacity mags that weren't really compatible with this 223 variant of an AK. And my optic just seemed like I lost zero. So we ended up picking up an A2 carry handle AR and ended up crushing, you know, my score compared to how I was doing with this gun. So I've always wanted to let this gun come back to Suns and, you know, do good. So over the past couple of years, this gun has been doing great, man. I think I've won a couple of smaller competitions with it. I just shot it at Texas Kalashnikov the other day. I think I got like 6th out of 60. Could have taken first, but I had 2 bonehead penalties. But anyway, it's been running great. And now that we've had this work done, it feels even better. These things come factory with an 18-inch barrel, and these guns are just heavy. I want to say before I had this work done, this gun was almost 9 pounds unloaded. It's very heavy for what it is, almost too heavy, but it does keep recoil down. But all that weight was out here because these have very long, thick barrels, thicker than AKM profile. And then they have the very thick receivers. The trunnions are heavier than a standard AKM trunnion. The receiver's definitely heavier. Everything about this gun is just beefed up. It's like a little tank, and it's just heavy. So I dropped this off at M13 Industries, and the main thing I wanted to do was cut that barrel down. In my head, I was thinking, let's go 14.5 inches. We'll pin and weld a break. But I have learned over time that's not really something I want to do anymore with 5.56 AKs, or really any AK that I know might see a competition with long range. We've done a lot of testing and trial and error getting dope on AKs chambered in 223 5.56, where I know exactly what that round is going to do based on barrel length. 14.5 inches with 223, you know, when you start to get to that 350, 400 yard mark, that round plummets like crazy, and you have to compensate so much when a 16-inch barrel of the same brand, same twist rate, manufacturer, everything, just carries on so much farther to 600 before you have to compensate. And at a match, you don't want a gun that has to compensate that much out to distance. You want to just, you know, maybe be a target or two high by the time you get to 500 and 600 yards. So I thought about that and told John, listen, let's just do 16 inches. These guns have a 1 in 7 twist. I shoot 55 grain all the time. I know what that does out to distance. I've got dope on a couple of 16-inch AKs using that same ammo. We're going to get dope on this today as well, out to 600. I may film that, I may not, but we're going to try it anyway. But 16 inches. And if I were to tell someone that this was a 14.5 pin and weld, I think they would believe me, because this thing, they're so used to seeing this gun being so long. It looks shorter than it actually is, but that is a 16-inch barrel. That muzzle device is very long. That is a 3-chamber break by Unrivaled. This break has been like exploding on the competition scene. You're seeing these show up on a ton of purpose-built competition AKs, and they're really good. 3-chamber brakes facing towards the rear. They have these threaded holes all the way around it where you can like move plugs around and kind of tune how it handles the recoil. I don't really mess with that much. And we even had this muzzle device. If you watch our most recent meltdown video, this is the same exact muzzle device. So this thing had like almost 900 full auto rounds spit through it, and it's still perfectly fine. I just cleaned it up and put it on my comp gun. So yeah. The other big thing that we did here, obviously, is this gas block. This is an Occam Defense tunable gas block. I've never been too big on tunable gas blocks, and there's a big reason for that. A couple reasons, actually. Number one, you have to get a gunsmith involved. Sometimes you just don't have the time or money for that, and it's so easy to put a K&S piston in yourself. You have all this tunability, but then the downside of the K&S piston is anytime you want to tune it, the gun has to be completely torn down, take it out, you have a totally carboned up bolt in your hand. You get filthy tuning it, and it's just, that's how it is. And, you know, think about it if you're at a range or a match where they do not want you taking your gun apart and you need to tune the gas a little bit. You have to go to a safe area, tell the RO what you're doing. It's just the whole thing. Tunable gas blocks, the big benefit about them is usually they are tunable on the fly. You can reach what you need to get to. You can turn things, tighten screws, loosen screws, whatever. And that's a huge benefit. But a lot of tunable gas blocks get carbon locked, especially the ones that have like threaded holes where you're just, you know, twisting in a screw or you're unscrewing it and it's covering up or like opening up a gas port. Those are just notorious for getting carbon locked and seizing up, and it's a nightmare. The screw gets stripped out, the whole thing. If you're familiar with how a SIG 550 gas block is, maybe like a Daewoo gas block, they look very similar to this. You have a gas puck up front. In fact, if you saw our Krebs M23 video, this is very similar. You just turn it. It has a spring-loaded detent with a little ball. You turn this thing, and it clicks into place. You can probably hear that. Click, click, click. You can tell exactly when it's on a new setting. And I've already got this thing tuned. I want to say it has 5 different holes, and it has a gas shutoff, and then, of course, a disassemble. So whether you're suppressing it or whatever, this is a really interesting option. And what's really cool about it is you have a fully tunable front sight post. Some gas blocks, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. If they go through the trouble of making the gas block to where it is tunable, it takes up so much room that sometimes you don't have an elevation adjustable front sight post because there's no room underneath it because the whole tunable mechanism's under there. But this one you do. What he's done is basically give you an AR-15 front sight post that even comes with a tool to adjust it. And of course it's on a drum like an AK, so you can go left and right and tune on it. Fully adjustable front sight post, not only gas-wise, but, you know, elevation and windage-wise. There's not many out there that can do all 3 well, and this one seems to do it very well. And it looks nice and clean. It's pretty cool. Because this gas block doesn't, once it's mounted, it doesn't really set on the factory gas hole. The original gas pole has to be welded up. You can actually kind of see it there. I don't know how well you'll be able to, but there used to be a gas port right around here. So in order for John to mount these on Zastavas, the barrel has to be turned down because the barrel is very thick. And this thing's really meant for like AKM profile barrels. So the barrel's turned down slightly. The gas hole has to be relocated, welded up, relocated. It's a lot more work than you would think, which goes back into a negative of a gas block. You got to get gunsmiths involved. If you're patient and you have the money and you want to do it, it honestly kind of is the best option. Everything's right here. I can just tune it on the fly. If my gun's short strokes out of match, I lean forward, turn up the gas, charge it, keep going. Can't do that with a K&S piston. For this big match, I really wanted to try this purpose-made competition brake, so that's what's on here now. And because it's not a pin and weld, I can change it anytime I want. I'm not married to it, and I don't lose the ballistics that a 14.5 does. You lose a ton with 5.56. That extra 1.5 inches really matters, especially with this 1-in-7 twist barrel. You know, we're getting 2 full rotations out of the round, which is really needed to do what I want to do with this thing. You know, if you're going to do this and not really take it out the distance, you know, cut it down. Cut it down as much as you want. The guy that actually inspired me to do this, his was cut down to like, I want to say like 12.5 to 13 inches, and his was so awesome and it was so flat shooting. I originally wanted to go that barrel length, but I kind of thought about this match we're about to shoot, and I thought, you know, I don't want to lose anything. I want to get 2 full rotations out of that round and really try to redeem this gun at this match. But other than that, the way we really have this thing set up, got the unrivaled, all the barrel treatments, all very cool. The factory gas tube still fits. Still running our most favorite piece of wood with Kula, a little bit of trench art on there. We are running the RS Regulate GKR 9DY. It's a mouthful. This is specifically made for Yugo pattern AKs or Serbian Zastavas. This will fit M77, M70, M90. It doesn't matter. It fits them all. And gives me a little bit more real estate for VTAC barricades, my hand, everything. I'm not going to put anything on it. I'm going to shoot the match just like this. But yeah, and it holds an AKM heat shield in there, as you can see. Pretty cool. We've got the wood stock on this. I went back and forth on what stock to run. But, man, this AKM style stock that Zastava is trying to go for here, honestly, it looks good and it is very comfortable. So we put a little bit of goon tape where my cheek's going. and we put a little bit on that very slippery metal, like glossy black metal butt plate. That slips and slides all the time. One little bead of goon tape and it sticks to your shoulder big time. Still had the US palm grip goon taped up. We have the ALG Ultimate. I don't even think you can find these anymore, but when they were available, these triggers are freaking phenomenally good. The dot, we're running our, what does he call this thing? AK307 MS, the Yugo pattern optic rail from RS Regulate with a little SRO with a Jaegerworks shield to try to protect it from all the damage it's going to see soon. We're zeroed at 50 yards. I just confirmed that yesterday. Got some targets here. I just really want to see what this thing feels like. I've got the gas turned down as low as it will go. That's ultimately what we have going on here. I weighed this at the house with no mag in it. It's still very heavy. This weighs 8.7 pounds, 8 pounds, 7 ounces, with no mag in it, exactly the way you see it here. This stock, the optic, everything, basically weighing it just like this, no mag. With a fully loaded mag, we are getting extremely close to a 9-pound gun. It soaks up recoil, but now that most of that weight has transferred towards the rear because we have lightened up the front, I've got a big bag of parts. In fact, I'll show you the B-roll now. The front sight post is gone, that big gas block is gone, a big chunk of the barrel's gone. It did shed a little bit of weight, not much. We're talking maybe a few ounces, but still took a little bit of that down. And we have physically less barrel to move around in and out of things because it is shorter. After this match, we're probably going to take this muzzle device back off, put up maybe something a little bit shorter, maybe like a 2-chamber brake, and we'll lose another ½ inch off this barrel just having a shorter muzzle device. Anyway, that's pretty much the current state of things on this M90. It does look pretty sweet. And I don't know if many people knew that you could do some pretty tricked out stuff like this on Yugo pattern AKs. You see a lot of AKMs, you're seeing like a lot of milled AKs, a lot of 100 series where dudes are spending a ton of money and they're pimping them out. There's a lot of potential here with these things, and the fact that some of these Yugo guns, especially the M70s, are going for like $1,000, you could really pimp them out. You could put this gas block on an M70, this rail, any kind of furniture you want, the Picatinny mount with all the SIG stocks. You can really pimp out Yugo pattern Zastavas. Pretty freaking sick. And there are optic mounts. And I hear some rail dust covers are on the way that'll fit these things. I can't wait for that. Anyway, let's do a little bit of blasting and see kind of how we feel about it. VTAC barricades are extremely difficult because they force you to rotate your gun, which kind of changes your bullet impact. So there will be some misses. They do this a lot at Sun, so these VTACs are ideal to come out here and practice with. Tough. Nice. Worst one. Come on, daddy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Clean. Woo. 39.66. Still had a few left. Not bad. This is close enough. We didn't have to change our point of aim too terribly much. Noticing that there's just not a whole lot of stuff here to get caught on those holes. You know, most AKs, it's like you got your brake and then your front sight post sticks up like that. And I'm always jamming that in a VTAC barricade trying to pull back out of the hole. But now with everything pushed back, floats in and out of those holes a lot better. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. Little tip for you, if your gun's getting boiling hot, as AKs do, a good way to let them cool down is just like that. Just take the guts out, set everything out, get some air moving in that thing. They usually take quite a while to cool down. I think that was my last round. Let's see. That was my last round. 70 flat.
67.99.
10 seconds. I know that we had the VTECs like inverted. I don't know, something about the steps being on this side, it just felt a little more natural to me. Whew, all right. This freaking M90 weighs a ton.
I'm not gonna be the only one huffing and puffing, huh, on the
Oh yeah.
microphone.
Oh yeah. You're gonna hear me wheezing for sure.
Wow. How many? What do you think the time is?
13.
13:38.
Whew, nice.
Wow. Clean. Man.
That brake works, man. If I just trust that there's no recoil, I'm just like clamping that thing and I'm just squeezing as hard as I can and trying to keep it from moving. Tell him, you shoot with your eyes closed. You don't need those things.
Man. All right.
The last time was 22:55.
20, yeah, something in the 20s.
Try for 20 flat.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
All right, 6 rounds. Both mags are downloaded, 6 rounds. No chances for makeups. He's gonna go empty. He's gonna have to load, drop the bolt, and he's got 6 rounds with no makeups on the other VTAC.
Gotcha.
Do you understand the course of fire?
I do.
Nod when ready, shooter.
Ready.
Stand by. Clean. Clean. Much faster, I see. Clear. Oh yeah. It got bright all of a sudden.
Good run.
I think I shot it clean.
That was clean. I forgot to call hits. I got too excited.
It's all right, I could hear.
Yeah.
You got too excited?
38.25.
All right.
Nice.
I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I sure thought it was gonna eat my lunch with all that weight, but it's been all right. That brake's working really good. That gas block, I found a really good setting that it seems to like.
What was it, number 3? You said it was number 3?
I think it's setting number 3. But the problem is, it's gonna be a rainy mess at the match, and I've got an open emitter red dot that does not do well in the rain, so. All right, this sucker's gonna get heavy.
Going left to right like I did?
Yeah, left to right.
Shooter, you understand the course of fire?
Yes.
All right, tell me when you're ready. Not when you're ready. misses that with 1281
With the reload.
with a reload.
All right.
With a reload.
It's my third run.
Shooter, are you ready?
Ready. Ah.
13, 15, and I was 4 misses.
I really got anxious at that last one. I got mad that I was missing and kept shooting faster and faster.
Hey, it doesn't have any rise at all though with that muzzle brake. It just stays flat.
It feels good. By this time, this almost 10-pound gun really starts to get a little heavy. But cool. Those big ones are so easy to just speed up on. That one there is definitely tough. Okay, 1 shot from every window except the bottom 2 on him. Step out, 3 hits, 3 hits, run over, 3 hits, 3 hits. I think that was perfect. Was that perfect?
That was a perfect roll.
Woo! What's that time?
17 shots. I'm getting 17 shots. At 40-36.
Oh, that sucker's getting hot. That felt great, man. I'm super happy with this thing. Feeling really good about it. Cool, I think I'm ready for some long range. All right, feel really good with it. After this gun totally bombed at Sons of Liberty 2 years ago, I'm definitely feeling like it has a fighting chance to fully redeem itself. We're about 500 rounds in, post-modifications done by M13, and it feels and handles like a brand new gun. I'm very optimistic. I want to give a big shout out to Rodrigo for helping me film. Next time you see this gun, we will be suffering through 12 stages of pain at the Sons of Liberty Carbine Championship.